Most people fail in their 20s not because they lack intelligence, talent, or potential, but because they don't understand the true value of this decade. This short window of life where your choices build the foundation for everything that comes next. The truth is, your 20s are the most critical years for shaping the direction of your future, yet most people treat them like a warm-up stage, like a period where nothing really matters, like they have unlimited time to figure it out. They wait for motivation instead of building discipline, waking up every day promising themselves they'll start tomorrow, not realizing that procrastination is a silent thief that steals years without making a sound. They convince themselves that motivation will magically appear someday, but that day never comes because motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you create by showing up even when you don't want to. Most people in their 20s care way too much about opinions that don't matter. They're scared of looking like beginners, scared of being judged, scared of failing publicly. So they shrink their dreams just to fit into the expectations of people who won't matter 5 years from now. They avoid stepping outside the box because they've been conditioned to believe that being safe is the same as being successful. But that mindset traps them in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and routines that slowly kill their ambition. And then there's the addiction to comfort. Comfort that feels good now but costs everything later. Comfort is Netflix every night, going out every weekend, scrolling for hours, avoiding hard conversations, avoiding hard work, avoiding anything that requires effort or growth. Comfort feels harmless, but it's actually the biggest reason most people stay average. Your 20s are supposed to be uncomfortable because growth only happens when you push beyond what feels easy. Most people fail in their 20s because they treat this decade like a vacation instead of a preparation phase. They spend money they don't have, waste time they won't get back, and surround themselves with people who have no goals, no ambition, and no desire to grow. They chase temporary pleasure instead of long-term purpose, choosing fun now and paying the price later. They set goals, but never build systems or habits that support those goals. They say they want to get healthy, but they sleep at 3 a.m., eat whatever they want, and never move their body. They say they want to be successful, but they spend their free time scrolling TikTok instead of learning skills. They say they want a better life, but refuse to sacrifice the habits that are holding them back. You can't build a future on wishes. You build it on daily actions, disciplines, and routines that align with who you want to become. Another reason people fail in their 20s is because they compare themselves to everyone online. They see someone their age driving a nicer car, someone younger making more money, someone on vacation every week, and suddenly they feel like failures. What they don't realize is that social media is a highlight reel, not a reality. They compare their behind the scenes to someone else's best moments, and that comparison kills their confidence and focus. The pressure to be ahead destroys their ability to build at their own pace. But the truth is, your 20s are not a race. You are not supposed to have everything figured out. You are supposed to explore, learn, fail, make mistakes, and grow. You are supposed to try things, discover who you are, and define what you want. But you can't do any of that if you're constantly measuring yourself against people who are not you. Most people fail in their 20s because they avoid taking risks, even though this is the best time in life to take them. You have energy, flexibility, the ability to bounce back, and the room to start over. But fear stops people. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of losing money, fear of starting at the bottom. The problem is they don't understand that avoiding risks doesn't protect them, it traps them. Playing it safe in your 20s creates a life that's full of regret in your 30s and 40s. The people who succeed are the ones who take chances, fail fast, learn quickly, and try again. Failure in your 20s isn't the end. It's data, feedback, and experience. Another silent killer is the lack of skill building. Most people spend their 20s working jobs that don't challenge them, hanging with friends who don't inspire them, and using their free time to escape instead of improve. They never invest in learning high-value skills. Skills like communication, leadership, sales, marketing, coding, negotiation, creativity, and self-management. They never sharpen their mind or develop their craft, so by the time they reach their late 20s, they realize they're stuck. Low skills, low confidence, low earning power. Skills are the currency of the future, and the earlier you build them, the more powerful you become. But most people waste years before they understand this. Time is another major reason most people fail in their 20s. They don't respect it. They treat time as if it's unlimited, as if they can always start next month or start next year. They don't realize that time moves fast. One day you're 21, then suddenly you're 25, then 28, then 30. Many wake up at 29 and realize they spent almost an entire decade running in circles without building anything meaningful. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and the people who succeed are the ones who use their time wisely while others waste it. Most people also fail because they avoid taking responsibility. They blame their parents, their past, the economy, their boss, their circumstances, but blame solves nothing. Responsibility is where your power begins. The moment you say, "My life is my responsibility, my choices are my responsibility, my future is my responsibility," everything changes. The people who grow are the ones who stop making excuses and start taking action. Small steps, consistent progress, daily habits that align with the life they want. And here's the final truth most people don't want to hear. People fail in their 20s because they act like they have unlimited tomorrows. They act like they have time to waste, potential to waste, opportunities to waste. But life rewards those who build early, who learn early, who try early, who fail early, and who rise early. You don't need to be perfect in your 20s, but you do need to be intentional. You don't need all the answers, but you do need to be willing to grow. You don't need to have everything figured out, but you do need to stop drifting and start designing your life. Your 20s are not about having the dream life. They're about building the version of you who can achieve the dream life later. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not stuck. You are early in your story, but your future depends on what you choose to do right now. Choose discipline. Choose growth. Choose responsibility. Choose courage. Choose purpose. Your 20s are your launchpad. What you build now will follow you for the rest of your life. Make the kind of choices your future self will look back on and say, "That's when everything changed."